Namaste. I'm JVN Dr. Sapna Gehlot and my session is on kinds of power. Generally, there are many kinds of power like according to Goldhammer and the Schills, there are three kinds of power like the force, domination, manipulation. Then according to Max Weber, from the legal point of view, they has been classified into legitimate and the illegitimate. Then legitimate is further divided into three like the legal power, traditional power and the charismatic power. Then if you come to the another thing of the Bidstedt has stated there are the four kinds of power. The first is the potent power, then it is the latent power. Then after the latent power and the potent power will come with the dulls. According to Dell, the classification of there are two types of power: coercion, when power is not based on legitimacy, and then it is a authority, yani when power is based on laws. Then according to the Beer's classification, the power is of even divided is of seven kinds like the wealth, physical power, social status, education, moral character, personal and the managerial skills. Then according to Hindu religion, there are two types of power. The first is a divine power, when power is used according to religious rules in the interest of humanity, and the physical power, when power is used against religious rules against the interest of humanity. On the basis of power flow, then when we divide from the basis of power flow, the power is further divided into two. The first is a unilateral and the bilateral and the multilateral. Unilateral, it is a unilateral if any one party to that relationship exercise power over the other. Bilateral, when the two parties exercise power over each other, it become bilateral, as in case of a bargaining event. And the multilateral, in multilateral power relation, many parties mutually try to influence each other influence. Then on the basis of values, power can be divided into two. The first is a positive and the second is a negative. Positive, when the power is used to attain objective by just means, it is positive. Its aim is collective good. Then is a negative, when power is used to attain objectives by unjust means, it is called negative. It is conscious pursuit of self-interest. Then on the basis of concentration of authority, on the basis of this, it is divided into three types. The first is a centralized, then it is a decentralized, and then it is the diffused. Then on the basis of the geographical area, we can say that the geographical area also a shape, form and extent of power, and on the basis of geographical area, power can be further divided. The first is a regional power, national power and the international power. Then on the basis of extent of influence, it can be holder, can be an intendant or not intendant. So generally you have seen there are the kinds of power. Now the basics is generally there are the physical power, then there is a psychological power, then there is a political power, then there is a military power, then there is a economic power. So what is a physical power? It is an important power and is employed by the state to get its order obeyed by its residents. Normally people are used to carry out the state orders and they follow the laws in their own interest and the interest of the society, but the circumstances may arise when the laws are contrary to the public wishes. In such situation, there may be violation of laws and eruption of violence. Then psychological power. This type of power is used to appeal to the emotions of the people and thereby to mold their minds. The extent to which the people are induced to decide in a particular direction depends upon various means used for propaganda and the ways employed to use those means. It is a generally TV, radio, newspaper, platform, etc., which are used to touch the people emotionally. Diplomatic tactics are used by different countries in order to hide the truth and highlight their own superficial strength for strengthening other countries. Then there is a political power and the military power, and in this you can say that there is a difference between the political power and military power. In the political power, the military power plays a secondary role. The basis of political power is psychological influence, leadership, and its willpower. Political power also includes the power of money, arms, and ammunition, material, and influences regarding votes. Then it comes to economic power. It is a type of power which has roots in economic prosperity. It means that power comes to a person or state because the individual or the state has strong economic and financial backing. Economically prosperous nations usually try to exert their economic power on the developing and underdeveloped nations. Economically powerful states today exercise their power over poor and economically dependent states because the former can economically help the latter in undertaking development plans. The nation exert their influence through international trade and economic aid, etc. So today the world listen to USA, Germany, Japan, France because they are economically prosperous nation, and other nations see towards these for economic assistance for their development and financial stability.